Liposomes have been used to improve the therapeutic index of newly established drugs by many ways, like by modifying the drug absorption characteristics, by reducing the metabolism of the drugs, by prolonging the biological half-life of the drugs, and by reducing the toxicity. Mainly, physicochemical characteristics of the conventional dosage forms are actually responsible for drug distribution, whereas in liposomes, drug distribution is primarily controlled by the properties of liposomes, or we can say that drug distribution is primarily controlled by the properties of the carrier molecules. Lipid forming liposomes may be of two types, either natural or synthetic origin. Liposomes constituents are not exclusive of lipids. They may be there may be new generation liposomes which are formed by polymers, and they are sometimes referred to as polymersomes. Whether these liposomes are composed of natural or synthetic lipids or polymers, liposomes are biocompatible and biodegradable, which make them suitable for biomedical research for a wide range of drug candidates. This unique feature of liposome is actually their ability to compartmentalize and solubilize both hydrophilic and hydrophobic materials of drugs by nature. When this capability of compartmentalization or encapsulation of drugs of both origins is coupled with biocompatibility and biodegradability, it makes the liposomes very attractive and most suitable drug candidates for the delivery vehicles. So let's study the structure of liposome. Here in this diagram you see different regions. This is the lipid bilayer. This is the hydrophilic compartment. This main area is actually a hydrophobic compartment where hydrophobic drug candidates can be encapsulated, because this is composed of phospholipid non-polar head groups. The structure of this whole liposome is functionalized in order to provide strength to this specific liposome by using polyethylene glycols, and the phenomena is known as pegylation. This pegylation is done to promote the receptor-mediated endocytosis by using certain specific targeting ligands, and these targeting ligands could be proteins, they could be antibodies, they could be peptides, they could be carbohydrates, they could be small molecules. What they do? Pegylation along with this targeted ligands, they actually prolong or extend the liposomal circulation half-life in vivo. How this liposomal circulation half-life is extended? It is extended by reducing the serum clearance, by immune recognition, and the non-specific absorption of serum proteins. The polyethylene glycol, which is used to provide the rigidity to the structure of liposome, is actually of two types. Either it is a high density molecule or a low density molecule. When a high density PEG molecule is used, it actually produces a brush regime, and the density is mostly above 9%. It provides a more rigid and extended brush-like morphology to this liposomal molecule. But when a low density polyethylene glycol is used, this provides the structure some mushroom-like regime, and in case of low density polyethylene glycol, densities below 9% are usually adopted. Mostly chemotherapeutics or diagnostics can be encapsulated into the aqueous lumen. As you can already see that a crystalline drug is encapsulated in aqueous lumen, a hydrophilic drug is encapsulated in aqueous lumen, small molecules of DNAs, RNAs, or small interfering RNAs or siRNAs, they can be encapsulated into the hydrophilic region, whereas the hydrophobic drugs are encapsulated into the outer region or hydrophobic region. Liposomal formulations enhances the therapeutic efficiency of the drugs compared to conventional formulations due to alterations of biodistribution that we have already discussed. Liposome binding drugs into or on their membranes are expected to be transported without rapid degradation and minimum side effects to the recipient, because generally liposomes are composed of biodegradable, biologically inert and non-immunogenic lipids. Liposomes, they produce no pyrogenic or antigenic reactions and possess limited toxicity. All these properties, as well as the ease of surface modification to bear the targetable properties, make liposomes more attractive candidates for use as drug delivery vehicles than other drug carrying systems such as nanoparticles or microemulsions. In 1970s, liposomal drug delivery were first introduced, but the initial clinical trial results showed some non-satisfactory values because of their colloidal and biological instabilities. Further, the subsequent research enhanced the stability and drug interactions were reduced. This resulted in several commercial liposome products in the market in late 80s and early 90s. The main structure of liposome is actually composed of phospholipids. So we need to know about the phospholipid. You have already heard about phospholipid, that it is composed of two core parts. So one part is called as polar part and the other one is called as non-polar part. The polar part is a hydrophilic head group and the non-polar part is a hydrophobic tail. Between a hydrophilic head group and hydrophobic tail, there lies two molecules. One is of phosphate and a triphosphate actually, and one is glycerol. This actually strengthens this structure and combine the hydrophilic part to the hydrophobic part. This main phospholipid is dispersed in aqueous phase, and the hydration of polar head groups of lipid results in actually an heterogeneous mixture structure, which is referred to as a vesicle, that contain multiple lipid bilayers, which are referred to as multilamellar vesicles. And when the sonication is being carried out on these multilamellar vesicles, liposomes results in their size reduction to single bilayer with diameters of 25 nanometer to 50 nanometer, and they are referred to as unilamellar vesicles. These unilamellar vesicles can be large unilamellar vesicles when their size range is from 100 to 500 nanometer.